You are my lobster, my only lobster. Good morning. I woke up fairly early today and got up straight away. Florian's taking a shower. We're then gonna find some breakfast. The weather outside is questionable. No, it's really not that bad, but it is dark. I still have quite a lot of friends in London, and of course over the 2.5 years that I've not been here, I've heard various accounts and opinions of how London has changed. Ever since we left the EU, and also with the economic crisis and things going up in price, they've been telling me that life in London has been super hard. Everything's really expensive. People are struggling to feed their families, and for friends of mine that work in the same area as me, the possibility of finding a job here has become 10 times as hard, and a couple of them are starting to do 3 or 4 jobs on the side to make ends meet. And I arrived back in London with the sense that this city had changed quite a lot. Things have gone up in price, but compared to where I live, there's not such a difference. And it made me wonder whether actually the biggest change is me, not the city. That seems kind of obvious to state in that way, but when I arrived back, I assumed somehow that that the gap between my life here and my life now would seem so much larger. And I think the reason it doesn't is because I think the change in me has happened on a much larger scale than London. And that's not to discredit what life is like here for people, but there was a lot of corruption before I moved to Vienna. It was just an interesting observation. And I think that's why this city still feels very homely to me, because a lot hasn't changed. My impression of the city feels very similar to how it was when I lived here 2.5 years ago. Coming back here, I expected to feel this huge wave of anxiety and jitteriness, because I've lived somewhere now for a while that's much quieter with a lot less people. And the first summer that I came back to London to see some friends after I'd moved, I remember feeling really quite anxious on the tube because it was loud and it was busy. And now that doesn't bother me so much. Or maybe I just can adapt better to it, because a year into living in Vienna, I still had a lot of anxiety and I wasn't happy with who I was and I wasn't confident. All of the wildness of London that was really kind of a sensory overload back then seems a little bit smaller now.
Why smaller?
Hello.
Hello.
Obviously, we have made the best decision ever and found a pint on a rather dark, dreich Monday afternoon. We just went to Wapping, which is a part of London that I lived in for 4 years, and I've had a lot of memories there, and sadly in the kind of latter part of living there, it was a lot of sad memories, depression, really difficult moments of trying to be everything I could be for people I loved and cared about, and either not getting the same in return or just spreading myself far too thin. And normally when I go back to these places that hold a lot of emotional memories, it's difficult. It changes my mood, it's a little bit darker. And I don't know whether it was just the addition of this lovely human who's very patient and lovely with me, but for the first time ever being there, I felt safe, and I'm not quite sure where that came from. Whether it was being in really great company where I feel safe, I feel loved, I feel protected, or whether I'm stronger enough now, I'm confident enough now, I've worked on myself enough that I can appreciate and respect those moments and those experiences, but they no longer affect me in a dark way. I can almost objectively look at them. And I think on the side of that, it was a really interesting observation, and it was also delightful because I love Wapping. I love Wapping and it's a hugely gorgeous part of London, and I want to look upon that place as somewhere to keep visiting, to keep enjoying without the heftiness and weight of my past.
It's actually the best area for living that I've seen so far here. It's so
Yeah.
close to Tower Bridge and there's so many things to see for sightseeing, and it's also a bit dirty, but then you kind of all of a sudden you disappear into this beautiful village. Like it feels like a smaller British town.
It
An
does.
English
It
town.
absolutely does. I agree with that.
Actually, I understand a lot of celebrities live there, as I've learned today. Mirror.
Helen Mirren, Graham Norton, and Ian
Ian
McKellen
McKellen.
lives not in Wapping, but like in Limehouse. Sorry, beer burp. So I brought Florian to South Bank to show him the Understudy, which is a very favourite bar of mine. And we're going to order some food and chill a little bit and then go meet some friends for dinner. Oh yeah. Slam. So we got ourselves some fried chicken with stuffing. So we got some fried chicken, but the reason it's exciting is because it comes with an habanero hot sauce and another type of hot sauce and Aleppo chili flakes. So I feel like it's going to be hot, but we've been having a lot of like hot food recently, and I want to see if my tolerance has increased. Stop it. You ready? Stop it.
Hot. No.
I don't find that spicy at all. We were promised habanero chili. It's good. It's not spicy. Was the ketchup good?
Ketchup.